I think that'll take us on quite nicely, McBride, because this weekend you're going to the game and it's Fortress Paradise again. Celtic are at home to Hibs. And I said in my post-match analysis of Celtic Aberdeen that this was maybe one of the hardest predicted 11s to do with Celtic Aberdeen. I don't know if this gets any easier. I guess these all the names that are in the frame. I don't think there's anyone else you would add, certainly, but maybe one or two of them you don't really have them in the reckoning. But it's anyone's guess. I think there's a theory going out there, I would say, that the team that played Aberdeen could just be the team that plays Zagreb, and the team that played Ross County could be the team that plays Hibs. You know, it could just be some of that straight midweek to weekend rotation stuff on the go. Because what we got last night was a wee bit of a hybrid on, like with Bernardo retaining his place, of course, Valley retaining his place on the team that started the weekend against expectations. How many, I guess like Schmeichel's also going to start in goals. Johnson's going to start this one, I think, isn't it? There's no chance we see a rest for him at this stage, although he has been getting subbed off. He got 90 minutes Wednesday, didn't he? Yeah, 90.
I think he'll have to rest at some point. I mean, I think he started against Ross County and then come off right on 60.
Yeah.
So he got 30 minutes off there. I think you could see Ralston. Honestly, I think, like you said, I think CCV will get a rest. Or if he does start, I don't think he'll get past 60 or 70 minutes because you've still got, the game against like Zagreb, which is really important. And then you've got the cup final coming up. And then even after that, we've got so many games between now and January. I think there's still about between now and like 20th of January, about 13 or 14 matches or something. So it's a real proper intensive spell. So I think what Rodgers is doing with the changes against Ross County and stuff is he's been proactive to that. Like, it's like, we're not going to run you into the ground. We're going to make sure we play high intensity game that will keep everybody fresh. And then obviously guys like Kuhn, 5-0 up. What was the point of bringing him on at 5-0 up? He just decided to leave him out. But I think Ralston could start, actually, because I think he's got to start at some point. And, if he doesn't start this game, then he's not going to start against Zagreb and he's not going to start against Rangers. So, what point will you actually rest Johnson?
I'm just looking. The last game he started was against Dundee, which was like 4 games after the last international window, before the game before Leipzig. So that's like not far off the exact same situation we're on now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking when I was predicting, like, basically, like, who started like all the games. So, like, since we've come back, CCV's started every game, Johnson started every game, McGregor started every game, and Maeda started every game. But I can't think of anybody else because Trusty got a rest. The left back's been rotated. Bernardo and McCowan have come in. Nicholas Kuhn get a rest at the weekend. So I think the only people that have started all the games are Schmeichel, Johnson, Vickers, and Maeda. So I think they would be McGregor, sorry. So they would be the ones that would be the biggest sort of candidates for, like, that kind of rotation. So we're still winning games at home as well, so I don't think he'll be discouraged in any way from throwing in some rotations. Like, you could easily just have Ralston there and just say, look, we're going to rest Johnson ahead of these 2 big important games. Like, it's a tough one, but you're just guessing. So
that's a big guess. Looking at the table now, Hibs are second bottom. They won their last match 3-0 over Motherwell, which was a bit of a surprise, I suppose. And they rescued that point against Aberdeen in the 90 millionth minute, right at the end. So, bit of a weird one. I make you right. I don't know how Vickers can start this one, and I think like we're going to see Trusty Scales at centre back for this. Ralston is a funny one, I think, because like you say, AJ can play all the time, but he doesn't need to, and is Hibs at home? Who do Hibs play? Like, I think that's maybe an interesting thing to think about for a second, is who's on their left wing.
Doesn't
matter.
If
we actually have the Hibs predicted 11. I know it doesn't really matter if you get me, but if it's like Junior Hoylett and Obita, this is the Hibs predicted team. If anyone wants to see this, we'll share this with you. The enemy we're expecting to face. Don't know how well the Zoom will help with us. Nah, it doesn't help that much.
Yeah, Ewan doesn't start these days, does he? So
Kucherev, Newell, Cadden, and Triantis in midfield.
Don't know what that is.
And
will
then
beat us.
fullbacks that are bombing on with a back five. We should be pumping them, eh? Junior Hoylett, it's a funny one. Canada, Junior Hoylett versus Alistair Johnson. That's got to happen.
Yeah.
Canada on Canada.
He could just start Johnson and just manage his minutes. I think it could go either way. As you say, it could be quite similar to the game we had against Ross County, and then loads of changes again. But I just think he's thinking about it. It's in his head. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like Taylor, Scales, Trusty, and Ralston, because Taylor's pretty much being the number one left back, favoured. Scales has started the last home game, done really well. Trusty and Scales, when CCV was out, did pretty well. So you're only really kind of looking at one major change there, if that makes sense. I know Scales for Vickers is a major change, but I don't think it's a big issue. So yeah, it could go either way. You could just see Johnson start and come off at like half time again, or I don't know, like whatever. Could do that too. Midfield's probably going to be harder to call, I think.
I think so. I don't think McGregor gets dropped, to be honest with you, or rested or rotated or have his minutes managed. I think he'll retain midfield. I totally agree with you by defence, by the way, but I think, looking at Hoylett and maybe just comes off after 60, AJ. We can see that happening quite easily. But Bernardo, could we see Engels come back in? Maybe he's winding Engels back in to play him against Zagreb, or is he going to keep Bernardo in to reinforce him to be strong for Zagreb, And then McCowan and Hatate, again, just another kind of quandary. Do both of them play, actually? Does McCowan actually get in over these two guys all of a sudden? I don't think so from the start. Like I said, 3 wee guys, I can't see it. But I don't think he takes Hatate out of the team. Or does he? Does he go to that weekend to midweek thing? It's quite tough, I think, to work that out. Because Hatate is a guy that normally plays all the time. It's about, you need him in form. That's a big kind of thing we've seen with him. So taking him in and out the squad, I don't know.
I think McCowan surely's got to start. I mean, he was unbelievable at home the last time, and that's got to be in the manager's head. Like, just these are the games that you would want to play him in, if that makes sense. Home game. Also, he must be not far off pushing a position in the team. I mean, Hatate obviously got that goal, but if he'd have continued giving the ball away or whatever, some people would have been saying, are we far off giving McCowan a chance here, if that makes sense? So I think Engels will come back in. I don't think he'll continue to sit out just based on like just normal rotation and stuff. So you might have like, that's hard. I wouldn't like be too surprised to see Engels, Bernardo, and McCowan. Honestly, I know you're saying about Callum McGregor. He does get a rest, obviously, over international games. That could work.
That could be an easy way to, that could be an easy way to keep Bernardo kind of ticking on and whatnot. Take McGregor out for a minute. Engels, I think you definitely want Engels against Hibs because he does the same. If we can get him doing the same job as McGregor, but he's like a narrow box-to-box type midfielder, but he's never really an attacking midfielder. He's got a good range of passing, actually, that Bernardo doesn't have. And against a team like Hibs, I think you would probably want Engels in midfield, in fact. But that's an interesting point. Actually play Bernardo in there. Give McGregor the day off.
I think he'll just try and be proactive. Remember you were saying the game where Callum McGregor ended up sitting out and it was like an adductor strain. So it was like a wear and tear thing. Now, a good thing with McGregor is the 3 international breaks off. So he's not got as much football under his belt this season as he would normally have. But you're looking ahead to 2 huge games during the week, and they're more important than this game. I know the league's important as well, but we've opened a gap. So I think you could see a bit more sort of messing about in there, just like based on what he's done last weekend. I think Dyson's a stick on to get benched at some point. Nothing to do with form or anything, just his energy levels are incredible. But again, he was away with Japan and everything, and you probably want Dyson fresh for going away to Dynamo away. I would have thought. That's just my view on it. And he's a crucial player against Rangers because he usually, we'll see who plays for Rangers at right back because Tav's been rotated and everything. But he's a guy who normally obviously causes lots of issues there as well. So I think Kuhn will probably start just because he got a full rest the last Saturday and so probably play 60 or 70.
I'm with you on that one. I think Kuhn comes right back into it. I just found Valley. I'd left him on inverted fullback walkabouts. Had to slide that away there. But yeah, I still think the midfield is really hard to pick. I'm with you, but Kuhn, I think, is a stick on here. Dyson, I guess we'll come back to the midfield in a second, I suppose. I was actually thought Forrest was in with a chance of starting against Aberdeen when he done the press conference. I was like, oh no, he's starting. I've played Dyson's everywhere. And he probably should have started, by the way, because Dyson's delivery as like a winger is sub. It's not good. And Forrest's left foot is way underrated. He's definitely been working on it since Ange came in. And obviously, we know how good he is with his right. But even on this left-hand side, he can cut in and he can hit the line. He's not one-dimensional in that way. He's not got the pace. He still gets by people in this division, but he's clever and he's got some tricks, good balance. So, yeah, I could see that. Again, I always kind of think with Dyson and Rio, in particular, these guys, that it's about keeping them playing all the time. They don't want to rest. They want to play all the time, and they will probably feel they get better the more reps they're getting in, and same with McGregor as well. These guys will want to play all the time.
It's hard. It's hard. How many changes did we make against Ross County? Was it 6?
6 rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, because I think we were saying, you were saying around about 4-ish, and I thought there would be slightly more. So I think it'll be similar again, just because Hibs haven't really been that good. There's been lots of chat about the long run of games and, using all. He said we'll need to use every squad member. So that was like Rodgers basically saying you have games where you'll see pretty much anybody here. Yang might even get a start. I don't know. I mean, I think Yang's actually looked relatively sharp, to be honest. Like when I've seen him, he's looked no bad. And I think it would make sense to start Ida again. Just don't know. Just he started the last home game. He scored. You need to get some fitness into him as well. I think he's started to look marginally more like sharper. When he's come on at the end, he's started to look a bit more match fit. So with all the games coming, I think you need to get his fitness up as well. And I'm thinking what I would do against Dynamo Zagreb, right? They've got guys like that Theopel and Rostovsky and Torrentes, not bad, but they've got guys at the back where you could really outpace them. So I think you probably want Kuhn, Maeda and Furuhashi to start that game, being the same sort of team that started against Aberdeen. So I think that leads me into Forrest and Ida for this one, and Kuhn I think just maybe start and then just come off. So
yeah, well, I think minutes are definitely going to be spread around on this one. I can see this front three starting very easily. Kuhn, Ida, Forrest, no problem. Again, it kind of fits in with the whole weekend to midweek rotation a little bit with Ida and Forrest. Then you're giving Kuhn the start, whereas Maeda got the start last time. Kuhn rested entirely. Yeah. So I can see the mirror image kind of thing there. I can see that happening for sure. The midfield is just the biggest jigsaw puzzle. I think Engels probably does come in, to be honest with you, but it's then who else? Because really there's such a case for everyone else but Engels to play. So if he's taking up one of the 3 spots, then the other 2 it's hard. It's hard going.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But when we were talking earlier about the fact that we've actually got good options in there, I think Brendan said, I think he was asked about Engels and he was just talking about the right type of player for the right type of game. So that suggests to me that maybe Bernardo might not start this game, but you just don't know. Maybe he doesn't start this game. Maybe he fancies him against Dynamo Zagreb. You just don't know. It depends on the type of game he wants to play. But it's a nice problem to have because we've got a couple of quality. Not everybody's been sort of maybe saying Engels has not been as good as they thought they were going to be and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, he's playing for Belgium and I think he needs to develop, but he needs to adapt as well. So having Paulo Bernardo in there, having McCowan chip in some goals and stuff, it's a really, really nice sort of balance across the midfield sort of 6. And then you could come up with arguments for 5 different combinations of that 6 to start against Hibs, I think. So that's what it is.
I think this is my projected 11 based on our chat.
I think it'll be pretty close to that. I really think it will be. I think it'd be pretty harsh on Bernardo not to start, but I don't think it's a case of that at all. I think the message just now has got to be that everybody's going to have to play their part, and you're not getting dropped that because you're not starting. This is just a game where we play a different 11, and you'll be playing the next game week, or you'll be playing against Rangers or whatever. It's not about being dropped because you're not playing well enough. It's just using the squad. So that looks pretty close.
Engels, Johnson, and Kuhn on the right, and I can see this. Gales and Taylor playing together on the left. Love a bit of life.
Yeah,
Forrest McCowan. Yeah, I can see this. I
really hope he starts McCowan because I think he deserves it. Like apart from anything else, I think he deserves some minutes. Like he's been really good. Yeah. He had a really good game. Remember earlier on in the season, the 6-0 away at St Johnstone as well. Thought he was really good that night. I think he hit the post or something. So he didn't actually score, but he looked quite lively and might have got an assist. And we played sort of brilliant that night. I think Valley came on, got a great assist and everything as well. The one he knocked off to Ida. So yeah, I think there's McCowan really deserves some minutes in there, and it's just whether or not he takes McGregor out. I guess he'll probably want McGregor in there, just being the sort of captain material, the leadership, that type of stuff.
McGregor get 60-minute subbed not long ago. I think it was the Ross County game. They get taken off after 60. Job done. Same. You can see. I can see that happening with him and AJ. 60 minutes, off you come. Bernardo and Ralston on.
Yeah. And hoping that you get, because there's something to be said about like trying to do what you did against Ross County. Like when you're 5-0 up at half time, you can do what you want. So, I'm not saying we're going to be 5-0 up at half time. Before that game, I said 2-1 and you said like 6-0 and I disagreed with you. So it didn't work out the way we were. I predicted the rotation, you predicted the score. So we got there in the end. But yeah, if you go pretty strong and you're a couple of goals up, then you can start taking some liberties then. And I think that's probably more Brendan's style, if that makes sense. Like, give guys minutes, but still keep it a pretty strong sort of core of guys. And it's just great. Honestly, it's brilliant, just all these big games coming up and how well we've done so far this season. Like, because we're keeping clean sheets and everything as well, right? Which is especially keeping a smile on my face from a Sorare point of view, because it's good for the fantasy football. But even with that tough game, the adverse weather conditions, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah, like everybody's hosting the league already. Like, can't ask for any more than that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm just going to throw this Hibs team up just as a wee comparison, just towards the end of the preview that we've got here for it. So we've got their projected 11. I'm just going to smash it onto the old board here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I think like everything is kind of leading up to the two games back to back with Zagreb and them in the final, isn't it? It's definitely a squad strategy that's in action here, and yeah, got a good feeling that a lot of the stuff we've been talking about is on the mind of the manager. We know Brendan Rodgers is a subscriber of the channel already because he references us too often in his press conferences when he's saying Celtic fans are saying this and that. It's normally the stuff we're saying. And so we say the same. I think we say distinctively some other stuff that other people don't say. So, Brendan, good to see you. Let us know the team if you're in the comment section, mate. What are we right about? What did we get? What did we get right, Brendan? What did we get wrong? We're barking up the wrong tree. With Ida, Robert McCowan, let us know. And we'll give you this. I'll tell you what, Brendan, we'll give you the Hibs predicted team since you've joined us live tonight, mate.
Thanks for watching, Brendan. We're looking for some pace, power, intensity.
That's it. Beautiful human beings. And then Hoylett and Kucheriev up front. Awesome. Yeah, Hoylett against Trusty and AJ is kind of funny to see on the screen here.
Hoylett's quite quick, isn't he? He's kind of like a pace guy, is that right? I've not really seen much of him recently, but I think he's probably a guy that's got legs. And the other boy, Kucheriev, he's more a sort of hold-up player, kind of target manish. I don't know, like plays more up top. I think from memory, I can't remember. Maybe I'm just talking complete and utter rubbish, but just don't pay much attention to teams outside Celtic, unfortunately. But
he was at St Johnstone or something beforehand. But yeah, this is how they're planning to set up 5-3-2. again, it feels like everyone we're playing against these days plays 3 centre backs now. You know, and especially if we're going to be playing 3 midfielders. Like, yeah, you need. This is going to be a great game for us. This is what it's going to end up like, I think.
Yeah, I'll be like, well, I'm near the Hibs away end, so I'll be quite close to a beta then. If that's, I'll be down there just watching them like doing their defensive drill in the first half anyway. Aye, they'll sit in. I mean, they've been really poor this season, Hibs, haven't they? Like, it's pretty disappointing. You look at like Hearts and Hibs. That Hearts have had that sort of investment from the same group as like Tony Bloom and things. So I think they'll recover, and obviously being in Europe and everything, like finances will be okay. But Hibs are just underperforming horrendously. Like, even if they just went and just like, well, I think they were kind of on the verge of doing that deal with Bournemouth, where it was like, right, we'll be your feeder club type thing, and just never done anything. Like, so. Anyway.
I'm not pretending to be anyone, Monty. Sorry, I had no idea. Sorry, I was just kind of in the zone with McBride going through this, mate. Is it the Tierney thing? Like, sorry, mate. Sinisalo, is that what it is? I'm not too sure, mate. No, I'm not doing anything, mate. Just in the zone. Just in the zone, mate. Don't need to take it personal. And yeah, I think that's all we'll say about that. But yeah, awesome. Good chat is alive and kicking and well. McBride, what do we think the score is going to be at the weekend? Hibs against Celtic. Celtic against Hibs.
I think we'll see a few changes again. I'm quite confident these days on sort of clean sheets and things. I've not really been impressed with Hibs at all. And I think even if they do go defensive, like, I just don't think they'll be good enough to keep Celtic out with all the armoury in the bench. So I think I'll go sort of 3-0 Celtic.
3-0? I'm going to go, what did we get last week against Ross County? Was it 4?
5.
Oh, sorry, of course it was. I was thinking more what was my prediction last time, because I was 1 off. So I think if I feel 4 again, so I'm going to say 5. I'm going to say what it was last week. I'm going to go 5 now. 2 of them in a row. And yeah, especially if we do get, I'm up for it. 5-0. Come on.
If we win 4-0, we could go for the average between me and you and claim that we got it right as well. So that's us get 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 covered, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose we're all round about the same place. Clean sheet machine is charging on 1 game at a time. Michelle, get that out of here. They're not scoring free. Behave. 4-0. That's much more like it. McLaughlin. Let us know in the live chat. Your score predictions, of course. And if you're watching this after we've been live, get it into the comment section. Let us know. Get your receipts on the internet so you can screenshot it and show us it later on that you called it right. That goes for anything that we've been going through in terms of the projected 11 for Celtic at home to Hibs this weekend. We've been on for a fair length of time. Thanks to everyone that has joined us live on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks to everyone that's caught this after we've been live as well. Have a great weekend, everyone. McBride, it's been an absolute pleasure as always, mate. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail. Enjoyed it. Looking forward to the game. Let's smash them up again. Big week.
Big week. That's it. Let's get stuck into them like a dog eating beetroot.